Hello, my name is Ashley, and today I will be showing you how to set up GIMP to create pixel art, kind of in the style of like early Final Fantasy games or Zelda games, old school RPGs, that type of 8-bit artwork, like kind of like the character I have on the screen here. So, just a fair warning before we do. GIMP is not made to do this kind of work with. It is a photo editing app, so it's really not best suited for this type of graphic creation. However, it's free, and a lot of things aren't that are made for this, like Illustrator or whatever else you would be using. So, and basically because of that, it's not ideal. The process of making these in GIMP is far from ideal. It doesn't require a lot of zooming in and out very far. So, a lot of people will just not want to mess with that to that degree, which is understandable. And so it won't be for everyone. But if you're determined to do this using GIMP, then I was going to show you how to set it up at least. This video won't be as focused on the techniques that go into creating the art so much as it will be about setting up GIMP in a way that will make this possible. I will do a video on techniques that I've been using as a beginner to make characters like this one you see here and other objects, but that's down the road. So today we're just getting it set up, and I know it can be frustrating when somebody is doing a tutorial and they go too fast and they just kind of breeze through everything and you can't follow. I know that's annoying. So I'm going to do my best to go at a reasonable speed as I'm going through the steps. But even if it's too quick for you, I don't want you to worry, because in the description to this video, there is a link to download a PDF, which will include all of what I like to call my GIMP recipes in there that I'll be using today in the video. So, and that's like step by step, toolbar, right down to the selection you need in each drop down menu. So no matter what, you'll be able to complete the steps that we do in the video today. Even if you can't keep up, or if you need to pause, or even if in the future you're working on something else and you just want to remember how you did a certain thing and you've only done it a couple times, the PDF will come in really handy for that. So that's probably the most valuable thing I have to offer you today, is that list of recipes, as I like to call it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and we assume that you know what GIMP is and that you've downloaded it, obviously. So go ahead and fire it up if you can. As you can see, I have it open already. I have a few of the pixel art creations that I have made already in here open already. But for you today, we are going to make a brand new image. So we will go File, New. That'll make this pop up. It'll ask for a width and a height. Common sizes for, or dimensions for pixel art are 32 by 32, or this 64 by 64 is the one I have made a template for, so I'll just go with that today. You can make yours whatever size you prefer, and then we'll just hit OK, which will give us a nice blank white square in the middle of the screen. So there's several steps that we need to take before we get started drawing. So first things first, we're going to go up to the image menu right here. We're going to scroll all the way down to Configure Grid, and that will make this pop-up appear. So in the spacing, it says horizontal and vertical, and it should be set to 10 by default. We need to change this to 1. So just 1 tab, it'll automatically fill that with 1. Then just hit OK. Then we'll go to the View menu, and we will scroll down to Show Grid. And, you might expect our grid to appear after that, which it actually has, but the reason that we don't see it is because of how far out we are zoomed right now, which means we need to go up here to the View menu, and we need to go to Zoom. Right now we're at 100%, that's the true size, and we want to go all the way up to this ridiculous 1600%. And then suddenly we can see our grid, as you probably noticed. And then just be mindful over here on the right of the scroll bar, because you will have to scroll up and down just a little to get to the top and bottom of this image, because it takes up at this magnification, it takes up a little bit more space than we have on the screen. So far good, Now we're going to go over to the right here where you should have the layers menu. That's what this is. And right now we just have one that says background and it's just white square. So we're going to go down here to the bottom lower left corner here. It says create new layer. So we'll click that. That will make this pop up. Just leave everything the way it is. Should be fine by default. Just hit OK. And you'll see over here that now we have a new layer that's transparent above the background layer. So now we're going to go over here to the select menu. And we're going to go all, select all. And we're going to go image, guides, new guides from selection. Click that. And you might not notice anything happen, but it has, I promise. Don't worry. And then 2 more guides that we need to add. So we'll go back to image and then guides again. New guide by percent. Click that, which will make this pop up. And it says horizontal 50%. That's what you want. Hit OK. Now you'll see this line that goes through the middle right here. And we're going to do image, guides, new guide by percent. One more time, we're going to change this to vertical this time. So now we have midpoints clearly designated by these lines going through the middle in both directions. So that'll help us with our drawing part. So, all right, let's go ahead and we'll go view, zoom. Let's go out to 800. Okay, so now you can see the other guides that we had added before that, which are all the way around the entire square that we have here. And what that does is just makes it easier to be sure that any of the drawing that we do, or if we copy or paste anything and move it, will stay within the bounds of the image that we have here, within the 64 by 64 pixels, rather than overflowing outside of the imaging, not turning out right. So this is pretty much most of what needs to be done each time you want to create some new pixel art. Now the other step is that over here in the left in the toolbox, we need to double click the pencil tool right here. And over here you'll see it open the options for that tool. And for the brush, you'll want to make sure that you've selected this tiny little square dot, which is the pixel brush, which I already have selected, but you might have something else on there. Make sure it's this little tiny square, and it should say pixel right there next to it. And the size you need to make sure is 1. So it's usually by default set to something higher. It could be 3, it could be anything. Just make sure, if it's not 1, you need to, need to go down, all the way down like that so that it's just 1. And make sure down here, after you've done that, just go back to your layer menu here. Now, right now I have the color pink selected, but we want black, so we'll click that down below right there so that the foreground color, which is what the pencil will be, is now black, and that's what we want. So let's go ahead and zoom back in. Like I said, there's a lot of zooming in and out to do this in GIMP because not really made for this. So we'll do that again. View, zoom, back to 1600. Okay. So we are all set to start drawing at this point. I'm just going to go with like an easy shape that's because the focus is not really on the drawing aspect of this today. So, I figure a heart is an easy thing to draw. So I'm gonna go with a heart today. So we have our midpoints laid out for us. So I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna figure that this will be the bottom. I'm gonna start working my. Oops, sorry. And of course you can edit and undo anything that you don't like. So once I've got the bottom, I'm gonna start heading up in this direction like this. So at this point, I've drawn my outline in black for my heart shape. And just to be sure, I've zoomed out to 100% to see what it looks like. And I still think it looks okay. So I'm happy with that. We'll zoom back in. And, you can double click this layer over here and rename it outline so that you know what it is. And then once you're happy with that, then we'll go add a new layer again. And now we're ready to add color inside the shape. So to do that, go over here to the foreground color selection and pick a color. I had picked this pink shade for my heart, so, and, you know, short of what you can do is you can click one place and then hold down the shift key, and then it will help you do a straight line like that. And you have to scroll down and finish it there. And I mean, you can color it that way if you want, line by line. It's a tedious, long process. It does work. Oops. Nah, I didn't stay straight on that one, did I? But basically, you know, there's any number of ways to add the color to this. It's a little tricky because, you know, that's one way. But if you don't let go of the mouse very often and then you make a mistake, you'll have to undo a lot of progress, which means you should definitely let off the mouse every once in a while. Like, I'm going to stop there and let go of the mouse, because I've just been holding it down and clicking and dragging, rather, like this, as you can see. But let's say that I go over here and I accidentally cover one of my black squares, then I have to go edit, undo, watch, all that's gone. See? So that's why it's important to let off the mouse occasionally, especially as you get close to the edges where you could make a mistake real easily. So, I mean, that's one way to do it. Another method that you can do is to use the rectangle select, and then select an area inside your border. Just make sure you don't go over it, so something like that. And then hit the bucket tool, and then just fill it like that. And I mean, you know, you can't get it perfectly because it's curved, but you can repeat this process as many times as you'd like to, or as that it makes sense. As long as you don't go over your black border, you're fine. Bucket, fill, see, so you can, those are a couple different ways to do it. I mean, I'm not for the sake of time, I'm not going to do the whole thing. I've already got my color ready to go, so I'm just gonna make that layer visible, select none. So, I mean, if you think that you may want to come back and edit this layer to add like some shading with a different shade of pink, then you'll want to go File, Save, and that should, or Save As, either way. It will pop up and ask you to save it as an XCF file, which is a GIMP project file. Name it something meaningful, like I named mine Pink Heart, and then save it. If you would like to export this, you probably want to go over here to the layers and click the eyeball next to background so that it goes away if you'd like this to be transparent. And then we'll go File, Export As, and Pink Heart's good, PNG, and then just save it somewhere that you would like to save it, and hit Export, and then export one more time, and that will save, and then you can close it. So that's the gist of it. You know, if you have questions or comments, please post them. I will do my best to answer them. I do have other videos showing you how to do certain things with GIMP, so be sure to check those out. If you have a topic or a question about how to use GIMP for a specific thing, feel free to request that I do a video. I try to be responsive as much as possible. So, but other than that, yeah, have fun drawing, and thanks for watching.